Skill number 5 is clarity. We want to learn to send clear, compelling, concise, and powerful messages to native speakers. If you do presentations in the English language, you know for a fact, and you know very well how important it is to send a very clear message that your audience instantly understands. We're talking here about a system of skills, and unfortunately, a lot of people see clarity as something they can do at an English lesson and something they should stop doing once they walk out of the English lesson. No, clarity starts right here. It's how you think, how you organize your thoughts. Therefore, if you practice clarity at an English lesson, but you don't practice clarity in your family or at work or in the office, it doesn't really work. If you have the skill, you apply the skill everywhere, in every sphere of your life. But if you really want to develop the skill that starts right here with the way you think, I believe the best exercise for developing clarity is summarizing your ideas, summarizing your day, summarizing your insights, summarizing a movie, and you have to do it in writing. If you summarize things just in your head and you never say it out loud, you're doing nothing. Unfortunately, you're not taking even one step toward native-like fluency or toward clarity. If you summarize things out loud, but you never write things down, you're not giving yourself an opportunity to apply self-correcting algorithms and to actually correct the way you think, the way you talk, and the way you write. And if you start with writing, you will start with a massive first draft. You know, a lot of writers call it a shitty first draft. It's always ugly, it's usually long, it's usually messy, it's not something you're gonna like. But you will have some material that you can edit, because writing is not about writing well, writing is all about editing. And you will give yourself an opportunity to actually see how you think. You will visualize it, you will see it right in front of you. How you write is how you think, and how you think is how you talk. So you can give yourself a chance to edit your thinking process. Write down your summary, learn to edit it. You know, do the words that you use actually go together in this sentence? Do we need a preposition here? Do we need an article there? Did you forget to insert articles maybe? Be very attentive. You remember the skill number 1, attentiveness? When you have written something down, your summary, learn to be very attentive to how you think and how you articulate your sentences. And if necessary, just correct it. Don't think much about it. Don't get disappointed. Don't get upset. All you need to do is simply correct it. Edit it mercilessly and fix whatever needs to be fixed. And the last important step is, after you have edited your piece, your summary, always say it out loud. Always read it out loud. You have to write it down, you have to edit it, and you have to say it out loud. If you don't say it out loud, you're also doing only half of the work. What exercises can you do to develop clarity? You can summarize your day, as I said. You can summarize your email. You can summarize anything, a movie that you have seen, but it has to feel like you're doing something meaningless, not just you're summarizing for the sake of summarizing, right? Therefore, do something that makes sense. Maybe you want to summarize an email that you received to another colleague that needs to see this information as well. And clarity means you can put a lot of meaning in very few words. Your meaning and your words. We're talking about your thought process here. See if you can remove the words that don't serve you anymore, because lack of clarity usually shows itself in a bunch of redundant words that people use and a lot of repetitions. If you see the pattern in your speech, if you repeat yourself a lot, remove it. If you use filler words when you speak, instead of saying a filler word, if you're attentive to how you talk, you will feel and you will hear that you're about to say a filler word and you're about to utter a filler sound, such as and things like that. And once you start feeling it, simply stop. People will wait 5 seconds. That didn't feel long enough, right? I didn't say anything. That was a short moment of silence, but it's better than saying a filler word or uttering a filler sound. And another exercise that I like is summarizing my own ideas so that I can explain them to other people. Let's say I watched a movie or I have experienced something big, but if I start telling people every detail of that movie or every detail of my experience, it's going to be just boring, overwhelming, and not very clear. If I want to let people know what it is that I learned from this experience, or what it is that I liked the most about this movie, or simply summarizing the plot of the movie to a kid, or to a friend who also wants to see the same movie, I need to think how I'm going to build my sentences, how I'm going to build my speech, what verbs I'm going to use, and what synonyms I'm going to use. So when you have written it down, you have a chance to look at your verbs. And this is my tip number 1. Once you have something to work with, once you have a short text, it should be short. Please don't write pages. Don't write a novel. Just 1 paragraph, it's enough. Once you've written it down, look at your verbs. If we are working on achieving native-like fluency, we want to pay attention to what verbs we use. If you see that you use verbs like do, make, have, and the verb to be, and that's it, you got to change them. Look for synonyms to those verbs that can do a better job. Let's say the word say. You can use the word say, but there's so many synonyms that can communicate different nuances of the meaning. You can communicate, you can reply, you can utter, you can speak, you can talk, you can inform, you can state, you can affirm. There's so many other verbs, and verbs really show so many shades of meaning. English is the language of verbs. They give the dynamic to your sentences. They make your speech more direct, more energetic, and you can communicate the meaning a lot better. And if you see that you repeat your verbs, find synonyms to those verbs. Thesaurus.com is an amazing resource where you can find a lot of synonyms. Just make sure that you check the context in which the synonyms are used. It doesn't have the same meaning as your original word. Let's say talk and affirm or inform. They're synonyms, but they don't have the same meaning, right? The meaning is very different. Well, it's different. There are nuances. You have to understand in which context which verb applies. And only after you have done this part of the work, use the synonym in your texts. Make sure you're using the right ones for the right context. But I'm telling you, if you summarize everything that you see, or if you choose to summarize something specific, let's say YouTube videos. You watch one YouTube video a day and you summarize one YouTube video a day, and you do it in writing, you do it for 30 days in a row, you will see a dramatic increase in not only knowledge, but in understanding so much about yourself and how you learn and what learning patterns work best for you. Give it a try.